Hi everyone, and welcome back to our Sunday evening session on how to cope without therapy. Yesterday we were talking about forms of contact and intimacy and how everything around contact and how we go about relating to those around us. Actually, there's no framework to it. There's no stages. There's no prescribed kind of method. It's well and truly just something that comes with time, with practice, with repetition, with closeness, with presence, and with maybe not so much sharing as well, but more like participating and coming together into into what we call contact and relationship with others. So believe it or not, for some people contact is actually rather difficult to dive in and to express freely or fully. And the easiest example I can give you on this is start noticing how it is that you react or how someone else reacts when you pay them a compliment, or when someone pays you a compliment. Do you accept it, and do you sustain that gaze and look them back in the eye and say thank you, I appreciate that? Or is it one of those like, oh well, it's nothing, and it is this kind of subtleties, if you like, that give away to another person the level of intimacy, the level of contact you are willing to bring in and participate in that interaction with them. And nowadays we tend to be very good at manufacturing smokes and mirrors and personas that we put out in the world, and I'm one of those people that puts up this person that is me at work, whereas and funnily enough, we're so good at that. In my mind, I think I'm so good at that, it almost becomes like second nature. It's just I can live and breathe what I do and the way I put myself across in that work setting. Whereas, as much as that is second nature, and speaking of buzzwords, if that is second nature, then the challenge comes with first nature, with me, with who I am, with how I truly put myself across, as in me, Gabriela, with my friends, with my circle, with my little circle, with my son, with my other half, and same for you. The way sometimes the contact that we enable or that we allow ourselves to not just initiate but to maintain with someone else, particularly with someone close, it becomes a catalyst for that relationship. And like I was just saying earlier, most of the times it's well and truly the simplistic way, being around each other, looking at each other, being able to understand from each other's body language what works for us, what bothers us, what gives us pain, what gives us pleasure. It's like a dance, if you'd like, and intimacy in itself relies on contact, and it fades. It literally just fades without contact. Going back to that buzzword, I went on the poppy fields again. So that buzzword that I was just saying in terms of your second nature and how you put across that person, that persona that perhaps more further away people, not those close to you, not those that know the true you. That second nature we get very good at. It's the first nature, the parts of us that are moody and cranky and needy and wanty and true, the parts of us that peel off that righteousness or nicety about what should be in terms of the second nature, and just leaves the pure you. And that is something that we can. There's this very simple exercise that I came across this week, and it was like an eye-opener for me, literally in discovering me and how I am, and leaving aside all of these lovely bits of second nature inside. I realized that I am moody and needy and cranky, and depending on the situation I make mistakes and I misunderstand things, and I am quick to judge and establish a black and white, and I sometimes I'm not seeing everything. I'm not seeing both perspectives, and I guess the word for it is I am sometimes selfish, and I'd like, perhaps like anyone else, I want to avoid pain, and I want more pleasure, I want more good things, I want more closeness, I want more contact, I want more holding, and that first nature there that comes through when you start pushing away all of those niceties. The things that you discover about yourself is well and truly that you're not you're just human. Your first nature has ups and downs, and usually all of these ups and downs, they are more raw and more intense with our loved ones. And best example, yesterday I was getting worked up in my mind, and my son kept asking me for he was just asking what's going to be for dinner and things like that, and I was like, well, it's not dinner yet. I was rather sharp with him, and like, stop asking me. And then I realized I stopped myself and I thought, what's the point of that? Why did I? It was a fair question. He wanted to know what's for dinner, and what's wrong with answering it without taking it as without reacting to a simple question, to something that was bugging me in my mind. So there's this little exercise that I came across in one of my units, and I'll tell you, it's called after action review. Don't do it with anyone. Don't do it with any stranger. Don't do it with anyone that is not close. I will dare you to do it with those that are closest to you. And there's just really 5 steps to it. As in, what did you set out to do? What was the point of all of that? What was the point of asking what's for dinner? What actually happened? Well, what happened was that instead of answering, I snapped at my son. What went well? Nothing really. He just looked at me, poor thing, and I was quite sorry about what I said to him, and upset, and I said, I'm just gonna go calm down, sorry about that. Mommy's just gonna go take a few breaths. But nothing went well. What went badly? Well, what went badly is that I just let some silly wound up thoughts in my mind just come out and come towards the one person that I love the most in this whole world. And the 5th bit is what do I think about it now? And now I'm thinking, you know what? Next time when he asks you questions, you bloody better answer it, Mummy. And that's me talking to myself. Because he's got the right to ask you any questions, and he's got the innocence in him to want that from you, and you have to give it to him. So 5 steps. What were you set out to do? What was the point? Yeah. What actually happened? What went well? What went badly? And the 5th one is, what do I think about it now in the present moment? That the moment you do this kind of exercise, now that the situation passed. And I dare you to it. It sounds simplistic, although it's powerful and accepted, and it's difficult to find things about yourself that your first nature is really not quite as you thought you are, and you're much more fragile and much more sensitive and much more needy and much more wanting of comfort than what you thought you were. The second nature is to put out that strength and that armor, and then the first nature dares you to be you. And that only comes out with those people that are closest to us. So try it. Who knows? You might like what you find out. Thank you for listening. I'm Gabriela, and we'll see you tomorrow for an episode 6. Good night.